Do you need help with marketing, new clients, or online reviews? Massage Book is your solution, streamlining all the challenging aspects of your massage therapy practice. This powerful software simplifies scheduling, payments, and marketing, allowing you to focus on what you do best, helping clients live better. Plus, sign up now with code ABMP50 and get $50 off after your free 30-day trial. Visit massagebook.com, create an account, and transform your practice today. That's Massage Book with code ABMP50 for $50 off. Don't wait. Give it a shot today. Are you looking for a company that empowers your growth and development? Look no further than the Elements Massage brand, where all massage therapists have the opportunity to thrive through the Elements Massage Career Advancement Program. In the Elements Massage Career Advancement Program, Elements Massage Studios recognize, reward, and uplift their massage therapists, rewarding continuous learning, commitment, and growth. The Elements Massage Career Advancement Program includes professional, elite, and master levels, where massage therapists will enjoy higher commission rates, access to continuing education and development opportunities, and unique career growth opportunities to propel them toward a successful future. Evaluate your career and apply to an Elements Massage studio today. Visit elementsmassage.com/careers and take the first step towards a fulfilling journey. That's elementsmassage.com/careers.
This story begins with love. Gooey, romantic love that blossoms and invites butterflies to sing and unicorns to vomit rainbows. This story starts with two people finding each other, falling in love, committing their lives together, and then eventually becoming three. The third person is obviously a child, and this child is squishy and soft and fresh and new and innocent and vulnerable and an open book to all the chapters that are going to be written. This is the start of human life. Granted, the unicorns and butterflies may or may not be present, but the infant that begins untouched yet by life's ups and downs is, in many ways, what we are constantly seeking to mimic when it comes to good health. The journey of this child's health begins with reacting to when it needs something. Food, sleep, attention to something that hurts. The chemicals that are released in these moments are stressful, often resulting in tears, but necessary for survival. The outward expression of what is happening eventually demands that the mom, or whoever is in charge that day, step in and figure out the issue. As the child grows, the negative but necessary internal processes teach the child about a lot of basics that will get her through this dangerous life. With each fall, she learns how to walk. With each bite of food, she learns what she likes and doesn't like. With each contact of things that are hot, sharp, rough, or unstable, she learns what to avoid. When the child becomes a teenager, the lessons become a little harder. Maybe there is a broken bone, maybe there is a failed exam, maybe there is the first love, and then, sigh, the first heartbreak. Each blow hits a little harder, sinks a little deeper, and creates a certain thickening of her character. Into adulthood, perhaps she experiences a few atrocities that strike the deepest parts of her soul. A chosen path that feels like a dead end, a chosen relationship that turns abusive, the loss of a friend or a loved one. I wish none of these on anyone, but they happen, and how we recover from them is what I want to examine. Here is what I mean. There are catastrophic stories of people experiencing the worst of what life has to offer, their tragic endings sometimes never finding resolve, and then there are narratives of incredible people overcoming insurmountable odds. Please, if you haven't already, watch the movie or read the book Unbroken. The story of a man overcoming struggles that would destroy most is the epitome of inspirational. There are very real stories from those who survived the Holocaust, rape, starvation, and poverty, and then turned their lives around to become enormously successful, like Oprah Winfrey, powerful, like Saddam Hussein, or peaceful, like Nelson Mandela. How did they do it? What is the difference between what happens when a person gets overwhelmed and lost to the struggle and someone who can use their hardship to become stronger? I do not have the answer to this quandary, but I do know that tissues in our body act in much the same way. Let's take, for example, the bottom of your foot. The intricate muscles that are constantly gripping, holding, and creating balance are strapped in place by layers of connective tissue that, from the first moment we stand, take a certain level of abuse. The demands on this part of our body from an early age are steep. Learning to balance, learning to walk, finding shoes that fit, finding shoes that are in style, walking on pavement, dirt, sand, hot coals, wherever your path takes you, your feet have had to adapt. Running creates overuse issues, high heels create displacement issues, jobs that don't let you sit create circulation issues, as do jobs that don't let you stand. At what point do we break down? And at what point do we shift and overcome? Here are the details. The human foot has 26 bones, 33 joints, 20 of which are actively articulated, and more than 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. That is a lot of moving parts encased in such a small area. The foot is also comprised of 3 arches, 2 longitudinal, the medial and the lateral, and 1 anterior transverse arch, that are structured in such a way that they act as both a spring and a shock absorber. If we think about the foot like the bow part of a bow and arrow, the string represents the plantar fascia of the foot. That string holds the integrity of the bow. The main difference, though, is that it sits neutrally curved in towards the bow or the bones of the foot, and when we use it or stand on it, instead of pulling out to send an arrow careening to its target, it stretches to a flattened position, doing everything in its power to hold it all together. So when we step down too hard or too often or in the wrong shoes or too aggressively or on unstable ground, that string is going to get exhausted and the integrity of the bow is going to be compromised. The other difference is that the plantar fascia has multiple attachment sites and multiple layers, unlike the simple top and bottom clasp onto either end of a bow. Most superficially, it is embedded into the subcutaneous or deep layer of the skin, and then sinking deeper, it holds attachment sites onto bony landmarks or parts of bones. From the anterior aspect of the calcaneus, or the front of the heel bone, it fans out to grab onto the digital proximal tendons of each proximal phalanx, so basically at the bases of each toe. What does that all mean exactly? It means that it is not so simple in both its form and function. Fascia is a form of connective tissue. One of many forms, really. Others include tendons, ligaments, bones, bursa, and cartilage, to name a few. I have always been a bit confused as to why they are all lumped into one big category because there are 6 functions they serve to fulfill, which is a lot considering that the other tissues in our bodies, muscle, nervous, and epithelial, each have about 3 or 4, depending on who you ask. Fascia, though, is a form of connective tissue. This particular fascia is found on the plantar aspect, or bottom, of the foot, the plantar fascia. Its job here is to connect parts together, the heel bone to the base of the toes, and to bind things together, the skin to the underlying muscles, and then the underlying muscles to themselves. You might say it is a bit like a coach holding a team together after a full season of nail-biting games and multiple injuries. It needs to pay attention to a potential stress fracture in the third metatarsal, give a pep talk to the tired flexor digitorum brevis, and keep the peace between the lumbricals, who cannot seem to get along, all the while supporting the entire structure of the ankle and lower leg. Some coaches may stay strong and lead a team to victory, while others might crack, and, well, we know what happens from there. Let's revisit that girl who was so malleable and new at the beginning and now, in her late 40s, has experienced a few bumps in the road. Who is she? How does she handle stress? How does she practice self-care? Have those bumps knocked her off course, or has she developed the ability to absorb them? More importantly, as she stands in front of you in your office, Can you observe if she has thickened her character to become stronger, or has she tightened her character to become more rigid? Both of these are survival skills. Who your client is, standing in front of you, is what you need to understand first. What works for plantar fasciitis pain is highly debatable. I have a video demonstrating some of these techniques that I posted back in July of 2016, and the comments have been interesting to peruse. Some agree, some disagree, some want to sell a pill to my viewers that magically fixes everything. And this is the difficult part about demonstrating techniques in general. No one technique is going to apply to the same condition on different people because, well, people are different. Let's say that your client is a runner, determined, fit, willing to work hard, most likely of the mindset that she will not let the bumps in the road knock her down. Her energy is more aggressive and more interactive. She is ready for the deeper work. With your client prone, bolstered under the ankles, grab the first and the second metatarsals from both the top and the bottom of the foot and shift them forward and backward, bringing one toward you as you bring the other away from you. Repeat this with the second and third metatarsals, third and fourth, and so on. The movement will not be huge, but you are accessing the stuck tissues between the bones of the feet and freeing them to breathe again. Or let's say your client's energy seems low or she is showing signs of depression. Life has most likely hit too hard too many times, and a gentle approach might be effective. A deep compression elicits a negative response, and you have to figure out how to get in. With your client prone, ankles bolstered, cup the dorsal or top part of the foot with one hand, gently guide the foot into a slightly plantar flexed position, toes curled down, and slowly sink into the softened tissues of the bottom of the foot. This positional release technique will reassure the client that you are working with her and not against her. Once you've been able to find some areas of tension or adhesions, stay steady with the compression and gently allow the foot to fall back into a neutral position. If the client indicates that this is too much, wait until she is ready to try again. Patience and trust are your best friends here. Or maybe your client speaks softly and is timid about having her feet touched at all. Perhaps she even insists that she is beyond ticklish and there is no way anyone can ever touch her feet. Start with a broad, flat palm or soft fist and hold one compression into the bottom of the foot. If they are still tickled by this, stay steady and have them breathe and pull their energy up away from their feet. Once you have established a connection that is not creating a reaction, you can start to do the work. Hold the still compressions and have her flex and extend her toes. This gives her the power of how much she can handle in that moment. In all of these instances, it is important to also pay attention to the muscles of the lower leg, for this is where the dynamic movers of the feet are housed, and there is no plantar fasciitis that is isolated to the foot alone. Keep the connection, understand your client, and be in the moment. You will get there. So perhaps seeking to mimic that squishy new tissue from the beginning of life, free of bruises and scars, is not the best approach. Perhaps the thickening and the hardening is a good thing. It has served a purpose, after all. It has aided in the survival of your client. As in all things in life, though, finding balance brings peace. We don't need to fight something that is there for a reason. We just need to create a path that helps what was there originally to live with what is there now. And here we are, the end of the episode. Thank you to the extraordinary crew over at ABMP for helping me get my words into your ears. And if you want to get any of your words into my ears, or more accurately into my brain via my eyeballs from a computer screen, drop me a line at rebelmt@abmp.com. That's rebelmt@abmp.com. I always want to hear your questions, comments, suggestions, or salutations. Also, if you're interested in checking out anything else I'm doing, head over to rebelmassage.com, where you will find all sorts of fun things to click on, like homemade organic products for your practice, cool links to continuing education classes, thoughts I have typed up and posted here and there, and other Rebel Massage dabblings.
Anatomy Trains will be holding our flagship Anatomy Trains Structural Integration ATSI training in beautiful Vancouver starting September 16th 2024. Progressively build your anatomical knowledge, hands-on manual therapy techniques, and most importantly, seeing and understanding postural patterns and developing strategies tailored to individual needs. We warmly invite you to apply today and bring your bodywork career to the next level. Visit anatomytrains.com for more.